We are welcoming you all back for a Fixed Ops Friday. Welcome back, everybody. And Owen Moon, welcome to the party. So glad that you're here. I guess you didn't hear me say hello to you.
Yeah, you're muted. No worries, buddy. Good to be here. Felt like I've seen you quite a bit over the last 3 weeks, so which is a blessing for sure. So.
Heck yeah, it's been fun. What's going on? Welcome to the party. So glad that you're here. So glad that we have some guest solutionaries that are here right now. Do us a favor, everybody. Tag somebody. Go ahead and tag a car guy, tag a car gal. Share this message around because we have another cupful of somebody who's gotten inside of the conversation with us before inside of Fixed Ops Friday. Owen, why are we bringing back in the man, the myth, the legend, the wisdom maker himself, who's starting to maybe dress a little different? I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah. So super excited to have a good friend of mine and longtime client, associate, Matt Raymond, coming on. He is embarking on kind of a new adventure. And so I wanted to be one of the first ones to sort of help him introduce it and get a little more information, kind of get under the hood a little bit, find out what he's doing and maybe what sets him apart from, other solutions in the space and that type of thing. Because I think, like a lot of times you get put into a bucket and you're not really sure, kind of where that fits in. And I think he's doing some neat things, that are very specific and gonna kind of dive into that a little bit. So excited to have Matt back.
Well, really, really, really excited to see that Matt is back in here and Matt is moving and shaking. There is so much shaking in the industry right now. And you know what it's like, Owen, when there is so much that's going on, it's sometimes hard to be able to slow down and tell everybody about what's going on because you're so busy doing what's happening. And we've had the chance to jive and to hang out a little bit more recently, and we're always moving, right? We're always moving, shaking, going from table to table, conversation to conversation, dinner to lunch. And right now we just get the chance to take a break, maybe get a cup of coffee, maybe grab a water, enjoy your lunch, wherever in the country you are, everybody, and enjoy some Fixed Ops Friday. Brought to you by Fixed Ops Digital, Car Guy Coffee Podcast, and all the solutionaries out there that are trying to get better at everything. Well, we want to make sure that we make welcome a guest who is no stranger to the way that we brew solutions around here. And we're going to go ahead and bring him back in because he's got some fun stuff to talk about. So let's go ahead and welcome back in the one, the only, Matt Raymond. Welcome to the party, brother.
What's up, Matt?
What's happening?
Hey, guys. How are you doing today?
Oh, man, we are excited to see you. How are you?
I'm doing good. Staying busy. Like Owen mentioned, just started up this new company called Bowtie Solutions and been in automotive for 13 years in the BDC world. And over the last year and a half, we built a service BDC over the last couple of years, but in the last year and a half, really honing in on some stuff to change the game within inside of our store walls. And out of that was brewed Bowtie Solutions. And we realized, wow, there's really a need in automotive for this. There's a need for people to be on the phones with customers scheduling service appointments, right? And it's not because we don't think dealers can do it themselves, but man, if we can take those service advisors and let them focus on the service drive and upselling and creating more RO while we do all the heavy lifting of handling those appointments, then that's what we're here for. The other part of it too is, and I was telling Owen about this not too long ago, is building our retention campaigns for dealers. So we've got some retention campaigns now that we're using where we're going out and bringing back customers that we haven't seen in 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, even 24 months. I know with our 7 team stores last month, we set 56 appointments of customers we haven't seen in 2 years or longer and bringing them back in. And it's just all about being timely and having the correct message, right? Because listen, if we wanted to just mass blast them and blow them up and not have any relevant content, anybody can do that. But we're here to really create a relevant message and bring them back. And like I said, I heard Owen saying beforehand, tell you guys some of the stuff that we're doing that's different. I was on a call yesterday. There's 31 outsourced BDCs in the country right now from what I'm reading, hearing, and what I was told. Yeah, and I was like, wow. I didn't even know that because I can think of like 5.
Right.
And, I know there's some that are sales and service, some that are just sales, and some that, are just service. And our whole thing when we created our name, Bowtie Solutions, is that we're not looking to replace anything the dealer's doing. All we want to do is come in and say, where do you need help? And we're there to help you out. So that's really been our focus and the conversations that we're having. I mean, I had a conversation last week with a dealer, and he was like, oh, I'm looking for this. I've already got a great BDC. And I said, well, what about if we can do that? And he goes, oh yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what I need you guys to handle. So like I said, it's one of those things that, for me being on the dealership side for so many years, when you get somebody coming in, you're like, oh man, are they thinking about getting rid of us? We don't want to replace what you've got. We want to bring to life what you've got. So that's what we're excited about doing.
And let's talk a little bit about that, because man, Matt jumped right into it, which is awesome.
He went for it, right? He said, "Come on, here we go."
How did we get here, right? This is what I want to talk about. How did we get here? Because obviously, 2020 hit, COVID hit, and a lot of dealerships started to downsize some of their departments, right? Downsize their BDCs, downsize their sales departments. And then as we came out of the pandemic, I think we tried to sort of staff back up, but it's not that easy. I think a lot of employees that were in the car business, in the BDC, they found other things to do. Maybe some of them decided that they didn't want to go back in the car business. They didn't want to go back to work. If they were maybe a mom or something that was working in the BDCs, and they said, hey, it's more important for me to spend time with my family and my kids, So I think this is a very interesting topic, because it's all about the culture that we're in right now. And so I do know, I do a lot of 20 group trainings for NADA. And when I go and talk about that to these dealers, one of the questions always comes up is, how many dealers have a service BDC? And it's about 10%, about 2 out of 20 will raise their hand and say, yes, we have an active BDC. So there's such a need, right? And there's such a need for what Matt's talking about. But you do have a lot of dealerships that have put a lot of infrastructure into service BDCs. So you don't want to be that company that's going to come in and say, hey, we're going to replace all your people, because now that dealer sometimes feels like, well, now I'm getting, relying 100% on a third party to make it happen. So finding that niche is really going to, be the big thing for Matt and for Bowtie Solutions. And I love the fact that they're not trying to replace anybody, but they're trying to, sort of fill in those gaps where, where they see the challenges and where they can help. So.
And you guys aren't doing that by, oh, well, man, you're just jumping into it. You have exposure from many different angles, right, Matt? You've seen this industry collide in many different ways, and now you're kind of taking all of these different colors and you're painting something fun with it, right?
Yeah, I mean, so I've been in the dealership world for, like I said, 13 years, and I still sit on an executive board with Team Auto Group and provide, we provide feedback and stuff like that. And BDC's been the realm I've lived in for 13 years. But to go back what Owen said, so we mystery shop people before we have a meeting with them. And one of the things that a lot of people have done is they've done a really good job of setting the appointment, but I don't show up. The appointment's set for the same time that I'm on a call with them, right? And my phone's not ringing saying, hey, you missed your service appointment. And I never hear from anybody. Just think of the lost business there alone that dealers could say, hey, can you guys come in and at least try to drive back these people for us? That's what, solutions, right? And that's what it's all about. It's working together to ensure that, it's kind of like when a boat starts taking on water, right? I mean, you don't need to get a new boat. You just need to plug the holes and fix it, and it'll continue to float. We hope it continues to float, right? I mean, I guess that's a whole other episode, right? You get a boat expert on here, but but that's what we've done. That's what we've built, and it all came about with an acquisition about a year ago. And we had customers calling in saying, man, I don't want to talk to a centralized call center. And so we partnered with a technology company, and we're able to build in not only where the customer was calling from, but we were able to build in scripts. So we took we call it the knowledge base. We build in the knowledge base. So now when that call rings, it automatically pulls up with that store and everything they can or can't do. Can they do state inspections? Can they not do state inspections? Do they have loaner cars? Do they not have loaners cars? All that stuff. So when our agents are having conversations, they're having conversations with your customer as though they're sitting in your store.
Which is always something that is an apprehension piece for most dealers or operators, general managers, saying, man, I don't want somebody to feel like they're not with us, or they're not part of our team, or they have access to our stuff from a remote place. These are kind of the things that help to massage that, right? Or at least sand maybe that rough spot out, because there's the horror stories and there's the benefits on both sides. It's awesome that you definitely provide that solution that way. So quick question, just because I got to know, because I know so much goes inside of the name of a brand, or the way that it looks, or a logo, or all of that. What was it that brought about the whole bow tie? What is it about the bow tie? I mean, it's a great logo. Love the flow, love the simplicity of it. It's good stuff. What is it that brought that out?
So there's a couple different things that came together to collide. Kristen Dillard, our dealer, the dealer principal of Team Auto Group, and really the champion, helped me get all this off the ground. She is a big bow tie fan, right? Chevy stores, General Motors stores. I mean, that's what she's cut her teeth in. On the flip side, to me, bow tie means professional service, great service.
Like Butler, almost like white gloves, Butler. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. And then on top of it, I'm really kind of sick of just seeing all these names in automotive that have the word either dealer or auto in it, or car. No offense to them, but there's trying to tell somebody your company, there's so many dealer, auto, car. So I said, let's think of something outside of there. We brought in the bow tie idea, and we all came together on this idea. The other thing is that I'm not saying that we have to be in automotive forever. Listen, if another company reached out to me and said, man, can you handle my inbound calls? Absolutely. Our technology will allow us to handle inbound calls for anything. I can label phone numbers. I can use my knowledge base, and boom, all I got to do is train really good people to be really nice people on the phone, and we're rocking and rolling.
And you can give them all that bow tie experience. That's awesome.
All that bow tie experience. Yep. So obviously our main focus is automotive. It's what we know better than anything else, but I didn't want to handcuff us to just one specific thing. We wanted to be able to, our solution is finding and fixing problems that people are having when it comes to answering phones and getting customers a good experience on the phone. So however we do that, and wherever a dealer feels that they want to plug and play us, that's where we're at.
So Matt, give me your top, I want to say 5, but if there's more than that, obviously, what are the areas where you can help a dealer? Like if you had certain campaigns, I mean, obviously full service, if, again, 18 out of 20 stores that I talk to in NADA, 20 groups are not utilizing a service BDC. So obviously you have a lot of opportunity there, but let's just say that I've got a BDC. It's a smaller than my sales BDC. So I might want to, bring a company like Bowtie Solutions in. What are the top, half dozen or so campaigns that you see, being able to help dealerships with?
Yeah, absolutely. So you touched on the first one, Owen. We can do everything, right? We can be their full service BDC. The second one is we can do retention campaigns. We can do manifest list calls. We can do a monthly service call special. And gosh, I'm thinking of all of them at the same time. I'm just trying to prioritize the top 5.
No pressure.
No, keep going.
So the newest one we have kind of goes with the monthly service specials, but where it's going to be putting on the service advisor. All right, I'm going to give away a little secret here. Put it on the service advisor's desk, a phone number, right? And we're going to ask the consumer, hey, if you want to save $5 on your service today or $10, however they want to do it, text this number in. When they text in, we're going to put them right into our technology. And from there, we're going to continuously market to them through text message each and every month. We're going to stay in front of them, and we're going to build a customer profile for them. So if, and it's really what the dealer is able to help us grab for information, but we'll be able to build that and then market to them. So it's all about retention. It's all about creating, a message that makes sense to the consumer. Like I said, complete inbound. And then even, if people, we can do missed appointments, right? We can just download your missed appointments list overnight, upload it, call to try to get them back in. So really the conversations I always like to have on the phone with the dealer is, what area do you think you could improve in now? And then once they tell us, we design a strategy to help increase that area, fix that area. And that's what we're working on in all the time, is just different ideas, different areas for improvement. And then we provide them a real-time tracking sheet so they can see where we're at and what we're doing.
How about recalls?
Yeah, we could do recalls.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed a lot over the last 90 days, probably since the beginning of this year, is just how many more recalls are starting to pop up, and how dealerships are starting to focus on them. We obviously launched a new recall tool in our software to help customers find out if their car has a recall if they're on your website. But the cool thing about that is that those leads could go to like your call center, for example, and those BDC reps could kind of call those customers back and, hey, I noticed you were checking on a recall on our website. But I mean, even inside the dealership CRM or DMS, excuse me, you could find people that have open recalls and try to schedule those as well, because that's really good money for the store, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And we're able to work with dealers on importing stuff if they've got it in a CSV file, or if they have, our tech team will be able to API, and if they work with any companies that have APIs. So recalls are a big one too, Owen, that we can focus on. Again, we can design it. The cool thing is that we can design it how you want, right? You might say, hey, we want you to reach out 3 times, or we only want you to reach out 2 times, or 7 times, right? You let us know. We obviously have an entire list of best practices, because with the team stores, we're constantly looking at data based upon trying different, scripts, different text scripts, and even different like calls. Do we want to do 1 call, 2 call, 4 call, whatever it might be? So we have different data that we use around that. But to your point, like whatever they can give us, we can put a plan together to go out and execute. And the cool thing now is that when we first took over the technology team, we were talking to them, and they come from more of a SaaS background. And I said, we've got to get this to be simplified for dealers when they're looking at pricing. Yeah. And so anything that involves, text messages or inbounds, it's really just focused on a per record or per customer basis. That way dealers know each month what they want to do and what they want to target. And like I said, we give them real reporting so they know what they're seeing. And then we can look at percentages and everything else and constantly make tweaks.
That's awesome. Breaking that down definitely brings up some other questions, because with all the data, with all the experience that you have, setting the cadence for conversation with your customers is critical, right? Mm-hmm. We don't want to overload and become a nuisance to our guests, to where they then opt out, make us not communicate with them anymore. And then on the other side, and this is something that we've just seen with other dealers, and where it is that they are when inputting something like this, is so many times it's like, okay, Matt, welcome to the party. You're in, do your thing. Let me know how it works. We'll talk when it's time to look at the report, right? They don't necessarily always want to be that engaged with coming up with the campaigns, figuring that out, right? That's generally where they get the chance to say, hey, Matt, we trust you. Go for it. You said you can do it. Let's go. But if they don't engage with it, it's not going to work all the way. And if their management isn't aware of what's being said on the other side of the line, or their service advisors don't know what's going on, right? It makes it hard to synchronize everything that you're doing. So with that, what would you say to a dealer when it comes to the engagement involved for them? How much is needed, and how do you actually help make sure that it does get all gelled right?
Yeah, absolutely. So when it comes to getting lists and data and stuff like that, if they give us a log on, we can just pull that data out instantly. That's usually the fastest, quickest way, and least intrusive way in their days, right? They're out to sell and service automobiles. When it comes to campaigns, if we're running a monthly special campaign, we just text it to them, right? That's how the consumer is going to get it. So that's how we send it to them. We send it right to them.
This is what you're going to see. Awesome.
If they have a marketing team and say, no, Matt, we have real strict branding guidelines that we want to go by. Cool. Here's the dimension. Send it to us. Again, let's work together, because whatever is going to work best for them, and then one of the things that we like is that we'll send it out every month. Hey, here's the current offer, push 1 for yes, run it, push 2 for no, hold up. I mean, we run it just like we want to run it with our consumers and how we're reaching out to them. It gives the dealer the ability to see it on their phone. If they need to make any adjustments, they can make adjustments. So that's where we're at right now. We're working with a couple other companies to really kind of dial in some other things with regards to marketing if they're on OTT and stuff like that, where they can text in and instantly engage with us that way too. And actually, I'll tell you the name of the company. It's Cognition. They've been awesome to work with some of their ads that they're able to run, and people can text in, and we can handle the appointments for them.
Excellent. Well, that definitely should encourage some of you that are out there that are considering and need to explore this option. It's just as easy as you want to be, as easy as you want to make it. Right. If you want it to be hands off, it could be hands off, but it's very important that you get your hands kind of into the dirt a little bit and see what's brewing, like you said, and making sure that kind of what you have the capability of, because when you have this kind of backup for what it is that you want to do in your marketing, I mean, Owen, doesn't it just add this extra layer of efficiency and not just efficiency, but like efficacy? Right, we are getting effective, full loop marketing that does turn into appointments, not just getting message, but appointments on the board, people inside of the service bays, right?
Well, 2 things happen there. First off, nobody ever wants to turn a faucet on if you can't handle the traffic, right? So, and that's on sales and service. So we hear it all the time, like, hey, I'm 2 weeks out on an oil change. I'm this many, this time frame out. Why would I want to put more people into that world? So it's always a challenge on our end to get people to see past that internal struggle that they're having, right? Because we got to focus on other services and things like that. I think the other thing though is that marketing always gets the blame, right? I always equate it to the quarterback or maybe even the president on some level. It's like they always get too much of the blame or too much of the credit. And in this case, you're going to get too much of the blame when they're not successful, when they're not having, the results that they're looking for. But marketing's only one part of it, right? It's got to be people, it's got to be processes. And some dealerships just don't have the bandwidth to be able to put really, really good processes in place, which starts with hiring good people. So if they're having those challenges, that's the time that you lean in on a third party vendor like Bowtie or somebody that can help really, kind of assist in that, because at the end of the day, it should not affect how you operate. It should not affect how you, the revenue that you can generate and actually being able to help your clients. You just got to think about it a little bit differently if you can't do it internally.
So true. Good. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. And what do you have to say kind of on that, Matt? Because he's so right. Marketing does get blamed so much. And this is an opportunity for you to help all levels shine. You know what I mean? Including the best people to process those appointments that get made. I mean, surely that's got to be great information for everybody to have.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, Owen knows Anthony, the fixed ops director from Team, and he has a saying, make the phones ring and the doors swing. And that's kind of always been his big thing. And so for us and the way we've designed things is really just fill in white spaces. Just fill in white spaces. Because I had a call the other day with a group, and they have 33 stores. And their question was, well, what about if somebody calls you and says, hey, I'm right down the road, can I come in? What would you say? And I had a response, and they're very aggressive. And they were like, yes, perfect. Because what they're looking for is they're looking for somebody to help the customer and not tell the customer no. And I think that's what you're finding now when you call dealerships. I think it was Owen that said it, right? I'm backed up 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I can't get you in. I can't this, I can't that. Well, who's saying that? And who's managing your schedule? And did you have 100% of your appointments show up? I can tell you right now, Team Auto Group is roughly sitting at about 85% appointment show every day. That means that there's an appointment box that opened up and somebody else called and said, can you get me in today? And if we're not paying attention to those white spaces, then you get the, no, we're 2 weeks backed up versus saying, absolutely, we just had a cancellation. No different than the dentist, no different than the doctors, right? And so that's where we want to just get stronger and stronger each time. There's a couple pieces of software out there right now that I've been looking at that are in the auto industry. They're just not in like dealerships right now. And they've got to the point where they've got wide open APIs and they can continuously communicate that stuff. So we're not even there yet at Bowtie. That's my next big build plan, right? Is to get to that point where it automates itself.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody calls and says, hey, my name's Lou and I want to get in for an oil change today, and you go, man, Lou, I've got everything full. I can get you in tomorrow. If I have a cancellation today, do you want me to let you know? Yes, absolutely. And we put it in the system and we have a cancellation. We call Lou and get him in. That would be a perfect world. And that's how we could get it going to the next direction. But, you know, as we talk about all this, it's sitting with each individual store. Because I can tell you, walking into car dealerships, and you guys do it. I see your LinkedIn and Facebooks traveling the country. Not one dealership operates exactly the same way.
Come on, say that again. Say that one more. Say that twice, just because somebody in the back didn't hear you.
So why am I going to come and present a product and say this is how we do it? Right? I said this the other day on the phone to somebody. We have guardrails, and Bowtie Solutions stays within those guardrails. But we can go any which way as long as we're inside those guardrails.
So true. So true. What's going on, Jordan? And welcome everybody else that's been having fun brewing with us today and having fun on this fabulous Fixed Ops Friday. What's going on, Felicia, Fred, and let me see. We got a Facebook user, Timothy Wilson. We'll just say OJ. Welcome to the party. Just so excited that you all did take a little bit of time on this fabulous Friday to have some fun with us. What's going on, Brian Ortega? Good
there
to
he
see
is.
you brewing with us today, brother. Thank you so much for being here. And you're pretty brilliant yourself and pretty stinking hilarious. I love
Brian's commercials. They're awesome.
Right? I'm saying he's got some.
They absolutely are.
He's a guy. He's an ad guy after my own heart, man. That used to be in a past life. That was my my love, was to, you know, just produce great commercials. And not as many dealerships are doing it these days, but Brian's still rocking it, so I love it.
Right, he's keeping together a great facet of our business, which I love, the stickiness of our advertising. I do love it. But he said, this is how we do it. It's Friday night and we feel all right.
Was that a little Montel?
Right.
Montel Jordan?
That's right. Bring some of that. Speaking of Jordan, once again, Matt Raymond, he says, what's up, dude?
What's up, Jordan?
Jordan is representing in here. But car guys, car gals, all you solutionaries that are out there, remember the importance of making sure that you do not waste the opportunities you have in front of you. Remember, if your customer does not remember you, it's not their fault. It's yours. If your customer does not get communicated with after they leave there, it's not their fault. It's yours. And for us to be able to have so much technology and so many people that are able to join the fight with us at a fraction of what this stuff may have cost years ago, or what it takes to employ the amount of people that we get the chance to use technology to fuse together, it's irresponsible for us to not at least sit down to find out how it could work, where the benefits are. And if worst case scenario, it doesn't work out, so be it. But listen, use these techniques that can help you take care of your customer better, because folks, if we want to keep piling them on, well, we got to keep finding a way to communicate with them. And we know as this snowball gets bigger and bigger, it takes some help to get in there. And if you're going to do it, you might as well do it with a bow tie type of presentation. Am I right? That's what we got to do out there for this business. But Raymond, Mr. Raymond, the flow that Matt has for making sure that he does make a name for himself in this business, what would you say is one of the things that are standing out automotive industry wise? Remember, you're staying somewhat open to be able to spread into other things, just like Certified Solutionaries. We didn't want to say we were just automotive inside of that, though. But for automotive, where would you say that you would stand, like just a hair or just a bit apart from the rest of the pack? What is it that's different about going with the bow tie flow?
It's my relationship with the dealerships, right? Because my tightness with Team Auto Group, and we use them for so many, testing is going to be the bad word, but so many different ideas that we have in testing and things like that. And it really is just being immersed in automotive. I'm not Like I said, I'm not coming here. There are so many smart dealer principals out there, so many smart ones. And a lot of them might not even be on LinkedIn or Facebook or anything like that. They're going to have their internet manager that's going to take them this LinkedIn video and say, hey, check this out. This is awesome. Because they're so busy and they're at such a different level. And so I don't want to change their business. They've been successful. Some of these people have been in business 60, 70 years. We don't want to change that. But the customer is constantly, listen, COVID made people have a shorter fuse and want things now.
Come on.
When they pick up the phone, they do not want a problem. Nobody calls the service department and goes, I'm so happy we're having a conversation that my transmission went out today. This has been the best day of my life. I'm so happy that the car I'm still paying on, average car payment, $800 a month, is now having a transmission issue. I really, really hope that you guys have a solution, charge me a ton of money and fix it. Like, it's not, that conversation not happening, right? But we've got real live people. And I know there's tons of AI out there. I know there's all that stuff. Everything out there is great. What somebody wants is somebody on the other end of the phone knowing that they care.
Well, that was actually a question I was going to bring up, and you just kind of touched on it. I was just out at the Kane Friends and Family event out in Lexington, and I want to say 90% of the sessions that were out there were about AI, like had some sort of an AI spin in it. So where does that fit in? Like, does that fit into your world? Do you feel like it's gonna, be a challenge to continue with AI? Because I've heard good and bad. I know there's some positives of it, and I've heard some horror stories just in, because you can't replicate the conversation that's going on inside with a real person. So, where does AI fit into this? Is it something that you feel is a positive, or do you feel like it's going to be not necessarily a fad? Because I think it's not going away, obviously, but do you think it's going to be as big as everyone's talking about?
Yes. For a couple different reasons. I think it's going to be much faster to write things and get speed to market on things. That being said, I don't think it's going to replace the human element. It's going to make humans more effective. And we are working on some things right now with AI and Chat GPT. And I won't dive too deep into it because we haven't fully launched it, and it would just be immature to say that because technology is constantly changing. But what I can say is that Bowtie Solutions and the partnerships and friendships that we've built with people, we've got people like you, Owen, and Lou, and people like that are in auto and seeing different sides of it. But we also have partnerships and friendships with people that are on the tech side that are not in automotive. So if any, like, for example, I use Verizon, and I had a question the other day. I'm thinking about going to an iPhone. I don't think I'll do it, but I really can't bring myself to it. But everybody at work would like to be able to set up a group. And anyways, so I got on with Verizon chat real quick, and I was in the middle of work stuff, so I didn't have the time to like play. And they have a prompt, right? And their audit, you can tell it's an automated thing trying to answer your question. And I said, live person, we'll let you know when they're available. And then I just went on working, and then ding, and looked over, asked my question, went back to my thing, and then boom, 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 boom. They answered the question. And then after that, at the end of it all, the AI came back on. It's like, have we, fulfilled everything you need? Do you have any additional questions? And they'll throw you right back into the AI side of things. My point is that if we look at AI as a way to eliminate people and save expenses, then we're just putting customers into a bad flow that can't be caught. So where AI is going to come in, and where Bowtie is looking to bring it in and help us, is that AI will be able to have multiple conversations at one time. And then we train our teams to read and observe these conversations in real time. And we interject where we need to interject. It's no different than the whisper on the phone back in the day. Right.
It's not about the car. It's about the driver. Right. And then you match a great car, a great driver, then now you're cooking. Now you're winning races and you're doing big things. And that's awesome, because that's what we want to do. That's what we want technology to do, not necessarily replace us, but daggone it, make us supermen and women, at what it is that we do. Give us power that we can't have just with our limited self and time. If we can learn how to leverage our time and our technology, daggone it, we can get more done, help more people, and just be more effective. I love that you're saying that. Speaking of relationships, we got a few people that are jumping in with a few comments. So I got to ask, just because I see that shaking and baking over here. But we have Jeff Ravila over here saying that 90s Brian is my father. You that boy daddy? What's going on over there? And then so we have Jordan that jumps into there. I can't wait to see 90s Brian in person. He's only been in my dreams. What in the world are these guys talking about? And we got Brian Ortega over here inside of that bow tie. Brian, I want to see you inside of the bow tie. I guess you got to go and do a commercial for him. I think they're trying to get this out of you. And Jeff says that we have an issue with the way of our pronunciation. Maybe is that the right spelling? I don't know. What's going on over here? Matt, what are they brewing for you?
Oh, I don't know. Jeff's hilarious. He cracks me up. And, he's in a couple different groups that I'm in, and he's always got something that, now he's going to make me rethink the way I say bow tie, apparently. But
nice.
Well, he's looking more like he's trying to read your lips over here. That's what it looks like. He's looking at you. But so glad, so happy that everybody's having some fun with you today. So glad that you all are tuning in. Make sure that you do stay consistent with the show. These Fixed Ops Fridays are always brewing some solutions for the industry and letting you know what's cooking and what's fresh. And what is fresh with Matt right now is bringing to you the word about what it is that he's opening up to. And if there's only 10% of you dealers that are out there that have a BDC dedicated to making sure that your service drive is humping and jumping, daggone it, make sure that you reach out to him. I know that he's at least going to open your eyes about what it is that you have the potential to do with the customers that you have access to. But remember, nothing's going to replace you being intentional about talking to your guests. If you want to talk to them, you're going to get the chance to do it, whether it's you picking up the phones yourself, making it a regimented flow that everybody's got to do it. But let's just be real. If we try to ask and we try to use our spreadsheets, sometimes we just don't get to it. We get piled up with so much work inside of the day, folks, that it's so hard to catch up. Let's let technology help us, and let's team up with people that can help use these things together. And
it's missed opportunities. Everyone says, "Oh, I don't have time to do outreach because I'm too busy taking inbound calls," right? And that's a real problem right now. Everybody is fielding so many phone calls from the service side. So as an owner, as a GM, as a fixed ops director that gets paid on revenue, are you just going to accept that? Or are you going to say, hey, how can I go put together a plan for missed appointments? How do I put together a plan for recalls? That's where you have to look at and say, hey, if I can't do it myself as much as I'd love to, do I bring somebody like Bowtie Solutions in to help get some of that done? Because at the end of the day, it's all about the opportunity. And the one thing about service that's really interesting is that when that service is performed, that customer gets back to whole. Guess what? You're off his mind till the next time, right? So you have that one shot. It's kind of, they always talk about it in the fixed ops roundtables and just, with all the fixed ops directors that we work with, is you can't get back time, right? All you got is the time that you're open during that time frame to make as much revenue and to help as many customers as you can. So take advantage of it and get help if you need it.
Heck yeah. Make sure that you do that. Let's see over here. We got Jeff jumping in here asking how funny he is. Funny like a clown, funny like he amuses you. Who is that? De Niro, right? De Niro and yes. Pesci. I say, Jeff, you're funny like ha ha, not he. Okay. We'll say it that way. Let me see. We got Jordan over here saying, don't make him angry. Don't make him angry. Heck yeah.
All right. So before we leave, we got to do it. I need to hear a dad joke. So one dad joke from Matt, and then we'll have some final thoughts. How about that?
That's awesome. So you guys realize of all the inventions in the last 100 years, the dry erase board has to be the most remarkable.
But
I got a whole couple. Awesome. It just comes to work every day with me. So
oh, that's awesome. Heck yeah. That's good. Oh, remarkable. Any of you guys actually use the Remarkables?
Yep. Yeah, bro.
Those things, those are amazing. I'm trying to hint my kids over here, like, hey guys, hey.
Father's Day is coming. Father's Day is coming.
Oh, daddy over here.
Grandfather's Day is coming. Come on.
It is. Grandfather's Day is coming. Heck yeah.
If you're driving around in an electric car and you're not writing notes in this thing, then you're not doing the world any favors.
100%.
That's good. That's good word. We're good. That's a clip. That's a clippable right there.
Yeah,
You need to
tweet
put
that.
that
Let Elon catch a hold of that one.
yeah, heck yeah. That's nice.
Oh,
I
that's
like
awesome.
that. Thank you very much, Brian. Give us a little bit of that sound in visual form. Appreciate it. So glad OJ's still sticking with us. Thank you so much, everybody who has been hanging out with us on this fabulous Fixed Ops Friday. But Matt, how do people get a hold of you? What is it that you want to make sure people know to do when they do get a hold of you, and just kind of put the word out there so that you can start getting some people just at least on the calendar for the Solution Brewing to begin?
Absolutely. So our website is bowtieautosolutions.com. They can check us out there. We're still building that page more and more. My email address is right there also. They can email me. We're always setting up meetings to go over, more of a needs analysis, right? What do you need? Stuff like that. And then we put together proposals based upon that. The other thing I wanted to say is that if anybody's watched this podcast and they end up coming on board with us and they say, hey, I saw you on the podcast, that's where I got interested. If they go with the inbound campaign, what I'm going to do is I'm also going to give them the outbound campaign, the first month outbound campaign complimentary. And if they say, no, I got a BDC, I don't need inbound, I just want the outbound, I'm going to do the outbound campaign, and I'll double the records on it for them. So that's where we're at. If they mention the Car Guy Coffee podcast there. And, like I said, I can't thank you guys enough for having me on. I've known Owen for years, and, I've known you and Lou, and appreciate you guys always having me on. Follow what you guys are doing. It's great. So look forward to catching up with everybody very soon at some of these other conferences too, but it's just been crazy busy getting this going.
Heck yeah. Well, speaking of other conferences, where can we expect to see you at again?
So we're headed to NCADA's conference this year. So we're going to talk to a lot of the North Carolina automobile dealers in a month, and then looking at the Mopar conference down in Florida, and also looking at Digital Dealer out in Las Vegas. That's what I've gotten to so far for 2023. I was trying to remember what year we're in, but we are adding a sales team and things like that too. So you're going to start seeing us grow extremely fast, and just lining up meetings left and right. So appreciate it.
Awesome. That's awesome. Owen, any final thoughts? Anything you want to make sure people know, or just put an extra exclamation on everything we've been trying to tell the world about today on this Fixed Ops Friday?
Yeah, just obviously you want to work with good people. That's about the car business, right? It's all about good people working with good people. And Matt's always been one of the most stand-up guys that I've known, a good friend of mine. And I've seen him do a lot of great things in his career. This is probably your first venture into the vendor partner side, I believe. At least, yeah. So, he's obviously leaning on me for questions and just kind of, asking me about different things with my background. And so all I can say is that if you want to work with good people, obviously, Matt's one of the most stand-up guys I know, and I think he'd do a fine job for you. Obviously, we'd love, to work with you as well if we're not obviously already partnered with you. But yeah, just, make sure you're finding people that are doing you some solids, right? And making sure that they're performing the tasks that you're contracting with them. And I think that's always, and it's tough when you're, in this environment to know who to trust and who not to trust. But if anybody wants a reference or character reference or anything, obviously, Matt's one of the best in my book. So
come on, man. So basically, I think what we're trying to tell everybody is that not only does Fixed Ops Digital make sure to give the stamp of approval to Bowtie Solutions with our incredible friend Matt Raymond, but we want to make sure that from the Car Guy Coffee crew, we announce to the whole world that Bowtie Solutions is 100% Car Guy Coffee approved. That's right, everybody. That's that stamp of approval. Cheering that on, everybody. I don't think, maybe somebody missed it. I don't know. Brian's over here saying, oh, when will he tell a dad joke? Did he miss the dad joke? Brian, missed the dad joke. How did you miss that? Go ahead and drop it for them one more time. I might go ahead and give you the one that I had a little pop.
Oh, he might be asking me too. Oh, when?
He might be asking you. So you got one? You got one for us? We'll all drop one today.
All right, I got one. So my dog is a genius. You know how I know? I asked him what 2 minus 2 is, and he didn't say anything. He said nothing. So
Madeline would like that one, Owen. You got to tell her when you come to town next time.
for sure.
Oh, that's good. Okay, that's good. Well, folks, when you're telling jokes, you definitely got to make sure that you do have a differentiation to it. So do you guys know when a joke becomes a dad joke?
Oh gosh, no.
Come on.
When it's a parent.
Boom.
All right, everybody.
Hey, Lou.
There we go.
We got
Right
to
over
wish
there.
all the moms happy Mother's Day out there, right?
Yes, happy Mother's Day for sure.
Happy Mother's Day. Yes, happy Mother's Day. What's a Mother's Day joke? Don't do those.
You
don't do your mama jokes, right? Let's not.
No
do
mama
those.
jokes right now. It's not the weekend.
I thought I had one on my cup, but I guess. Well, yeah, this could be it. My wife said if I bought her one more stupid gift, she would burn it. So I bought her a candle.
Boom. I love it.
Boom, boom, boom. So on that one, everybody,
Katie knows what she's getting for Mother's Day.
We appreciate you tuning in on the Car Guy Coffee podcast here on Fixed Ops Friday, brought to you by our incredible friends over at Fixed Ops Digital. We have the one, the only Owen Moon making things happen and bringing to you this incredible guest, the one, the only Matt Raymond. We got to forget, focus, fly, and let's go on with this incredible weekend. On three, hands on the shoulders. 1, 2, 3, forgive, focus, fly, and keep growing, keep growing. We appreciate you all jumping in with us today. Until we see you again, keep brewing solutions, and thank you for joining us on this Fixed Ops Friday. We're out, everybody. Peace.